Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, as you've probably noticed, there's been a lot of talk lately about immigration, especially about what's going on at the southern border, people calling it a crisis. So let's talk about it, shall we? Is it really a crisis? Now, I'm going to give you a quote here from a guy who is the director. He's the director of the United States and Mexico Center at Rice University. He wrote in a blog back on March 15th. His name is Tony Pan. He says, "The current situation at the border is neither a unique crisis nor a result yet of Biden's policies." Now you hear a lot of talk out there saying, "Oh, Biden did this. Biden caused all these problems." But that's not really the case. That's not really how it works. One, Biden hasn't done much except in the emergency that Trump had set at the border, which had our troops on the border, right? So there's really no changes in policy that Biden has done that caused this. So let's be clear about that. Now, are there things he can do to improve it? Sure. Is he working fast enough? No. Should he work faster? Should our government work faster to solve the problem? Yes. Yes, it should. Let's continue with a discussion talking to this guy. It says this is an article from factcheck.org, so I mean these people are pretty spot on when it comes to giving you the facts. It says in a phone interview he told us that while apprehension numbers are spiking now, this is not a new crisis. Instead, it began all the way back in 2014. If you recall, back in 2014, you had masses of unaccompanied minors flowing over our borders, seeking refugee status or asylum status. This has been going on since 2014. This is not a new thing. This isn't something that people just all of a sudden started coming up to the U.S. This is nothing new, right? Now, these aren't marauding bands of people wanting to destroy your country. These are people trying to find a better life. And remember, this is America. No matter how bad it gets here, to a lot of people in this world, we are still the beacon on the hill. We are still that spot, that place you go to get better, to live in a better world, to live a better life. Because even at our worst, we are still better than a lot of places on this earth. He goes on to say, it's been going on since 2014 when we first saw unaccompanied minors and family units arriving at the border and turning themselves in. It's a problem that has plagued each administration since. So it's a problem that not only Biden is facing, but Donald Trump faced, and that Barack Obama faced. As we see, Trump's policies and Obama's policies didn't stop it. Relatively lax policies under Barack Obama and relatively over-the-top, stringent policies on the Trump administration part did not work. Clearly, the answer is somewhere in the middle, right? I don't want to see these children, these unaccompanied minors, being put into camps and stuff, like what's going on during the Trump years. Okay? And during the Obama years. I don't want to see that happening. But we do have to make a clear distinction here. There is a clear distinction between what was going on during the Trump years and going on right now. Yes, kids are being put in temporary housing, camps, call them cages, what you will, right? But the reasoning is different. It's not the same reason that Trump was doing. Remember, Trump was having people arrested at the border even if they were seeking asylum. Something guaranteed in the Geneva Convention. A virtue of international law. That you are allowed to seek asylum in another country. That is allowed under the Geneva Convention. That is allowed by our own United States laws as well. So, is Joe Biden doing that? No. Joe Biden is not arresting asylum seekers. He is not ripping kids away from their families for seeking asylum. Now, there are a number of reasons why we're in this mess. Some of it I mean, is a law. There's laws that date back to 2006 that says we need to take care of accompanied minors if they happen to come here unaccompanied. And I understand that, right? But we've had these problems since 2014. The last notable time before now that we had this issue of mass unaccompanied minors coming across the border was 2019. Now, the article goes on to state that yes, we are focusing more or seeing more individual people coming across the border, individual adults, than any other group. And as COVID starts to go down, the apprehensions at the border are going to go up. The more people are going to start trying to cross illegally. And it's going to happen. It just is what it is. People are always going to try to get into America. I'm sorry. I wish people understood that this isn't people trying to come hurt our country. They're trying to get away from bad conditions in their home country. And other experts that have written articles in the Washington Post and things like that, they agree that this is not really a crisis at the moment. This is nothing different than what we normally deal with. So it's not really a unique crisis, as Mr. Pan spoke about above. It goes on to say, other immigration experts writing in the Washington Post agree that the current increase in apprehensions fits the predictable pattern of seasonal changes and undocumented immigration, combined with the backlog in demand that the closing of the border caused due to coronavirus. So, as we see, this is not a Biden issue. This is not a Trump issue. This is not an Obama issue. This is an American issue. And we can only solve it the best way Americans know how, and that is working together and coming to a consensus on how to solve the problem. Building a bigger border wall isn't going to help. They'll dig under it. Arresting them at the entry ports for seeking asylum isn't going to work. We watched that fail for 4 years. Declaring a national emergency at the border is not going to solve it. We've dealt with that for the last 3 or 4 years. So what is the answer to immigration? One, we need to hire more judges, immigration judges, to hurry and process these people through. Two, we must find a better solution for housing the unaccompanied minors that come across this border. We do not need to have them on cramped, living conditions on the border, on these little camps that the Trump administration and the Biden administration have been using. We've got to find a better solution for that, a more humane solution for that. As well, we need to work with the states along the border to come up with a clear and concise idea on exactly how to stem the flow of people across our border. The thing is, what we're not seeing is a lot of these people are just asylum seekers. They're not illegal, right? People are always screaming about illegal aliens. Why don't they do it the right way? Well, here's the thing. They are trying to do it the right way. Seeking asylum is a proper and legal way to enter a country. It just is. I don't care what anyone's feelings say. I don't care what they think. The fact is, it is legal. You are legally allowed to seek asylum in a country, and we just happen to be one of them. But at the end of the day, we've got to work together and find a good, humane solution to this problem. But anyhow, y'all have a great day. I'll see you down the road.